Hey guys, it's Mr.C, a layman, or Mr. Cologne for reinforcemyfaith.com, and today I wanted to talk about First Clement, or the first letter of Clement to the Corinthians, as an apostolic father, early church figure, and talk about the phoenix in a little bit as well. The phoenix. So it's a mythical bird that symbolizes the resurrection and eternity. And according to legend, the phoenix could never die. It would rise and reborn from its own ashes after committing itself to the flames of a funeral pyre. In Christian tradition, the rebirth of the phoenix from the ashes is seen as a parallel to the rebirth of Christians through their participation in the death of Christ, which is the source of new life, either through the resurrection or even as becoming a believer. You're putting away the old man, or the old man is dying so you can rise up to be a new man. Also, a process of theosis as well. In St. Paul's letter to the Ephesians states that God brought believers to life with Christ and raised them up with him, emphasizing this idea of rebirth and new life. The phoenix therefore serves as a powerful symbol of immortality and the hope of eternal life through Christ's resurrection. And I have here from the Catechism of the Catholic Church, 1997, second edition, 1016, it reads, By death, the soul is separated from the body, but in the resurrection, God will give incorruptible life to our body, transformed by a reunion with our soul. Just as Christ is risen and our lives forever, so all of us will rise at the last day. The symbol of the phoenix is also in non-Christian tradition, as mentioned earlier, and the phoenix is mentioned by other writers as either mythical or as real, actual bird that existed in real life. We have Herodotus, Pliny the Younger, or the Elder, I forget which, we'll see in a second, Tertullian, and by other church fathers such as St. Ambrose and then Rufinus. So we start off with the first epistle of Clement, 1 Clement, Clement to the Corinthians, Pope St. Clement of Rome, AD 35 and 99. We have here as believed to be the fourth Pope of the Catholic Church, a significant document that demonstrates the exercise of Roman primacy after the death of St. Peter. The letter was highly regarded and publicly used in many churches. It was written in response to the serious problems facing the church in Corinth, where the elders had been deposed by some young contestants. The letter exhorts the Corinthians to peace, renew their faith, and declares the tradition received from the apostles as important. It emphasizes the joyful proclamation of saving grace and the imperative of moral commitment in response to the gifts of salvation. The letter also includes a great prayer that concludes the epistle, providing an ample room for the Bishop of Rome to address the church's identity and mission. The epistle to the Corinthians is characterized by its earnest and simple style with numerous quotations from the Old Testament. It contains important passages on the Holy Trinity, the role of Christ as a high priest, redemption, justification, works, and Christian ministry. While the epistle is primarily oratory, it provides insights into early Christian theology and practice. A little bit about Pope St. Clement of Rome, Apostolic Father, believed to be ordained by St. Peter himself, the fourth Pope. And we have the authority and prestige of St. Clement are attested by various early sources, including St. Irenaeus, who states that Clement had seen and conversed with the blessed apostles that had their preaching and traditions before his eyes. And we have here another quote from Letter to the Corinthians. Christ has commanded the offerings and services to be celebrated not carelessly, nor in disorder, but at fixed times and hours. Moreover, where and by whom he wants them to be carried out, so that all may be done in holy manner, according to his good and pleasure and acceptable to his will. We have here the brief outline of First Clement, 65 verses. Or chapters, I should say, and then we're going to focus on chapter 25 there. Chapter 25, when it talks about the phoenix and as an emblem of the resurrection. And let's read the whole passage. It goes as follows, 1 Clement 25. Let us consider that the wonderful sign of the resurrection which takes place in eastern lands, that is, in Arabia and countries round about. There is a certain bird which is called the phoenix. This is the only one of its kind and lives 500 years. And when the time of its dissolution draws near, that it must die, it builds itself a nest of frankincense and myrrh and other spices, in which, when the time is fulfilled, it enters and dies. But as the flesh decays, a certain kind of worm is produced, which, being nourished by the juices of the dead bird, brings forth feathers. Then, when it's acquired its strength, it takes up nest, which is which are the bones of its parents, and bearing these, it passes from the land of Arabia into Egypt to the city called Heliopolis. And in open day, flying in the sight of all men, it places them on the altar of the sun, and having done this, hastens back to its former abode. The priest then inspects the registers of the dates and finds that it has returned exactly as the 500th year was completed. And we have here from Fundamentals of Catholic Dogma, saying St. Clement of Rome bases it by analogy on nature, the tale of the wondrous bird, the phoenix, and on the writers of the Old Testament. In defense of the Christian faith in the resurrection, we have some translations of the book of Job, Job 29:18. Then I said, I shall die by my nest, and I shall multiply my days as the phoenix. Or translation could also read, or as sand, or as palm tree as well. Herodotus also talked about the phoenix, and then it is Pliny the Elder who also talks about the phoenix as well, and that's the sources we talk about there. And then Tertullian, an early church father, also mentions the phoenix as a comparison to the resurrection. So I think it's an important aspect, and just something fascinating that I found while reading the early church fathers. He is usually, when you read them in the Apostolic or pre-Nicene fathers, he is the first letter, or the first subject you would read is First Clement. So I think it's important to understand the church and the early faith and how it was translated. So this has been Mr. C, a layman from reinforcemyfaith.com, talk about First Clement, and I hope you guys seek the true, the good, and the beautiful, and take care, and God bless.